Had noticed that it was a minor oil leak. It was dripping a little under the forwarder, so that was brought out to see what was up, and I had my dad in the cab here with it tilted up to activate the few function and found the leak. He was glad to come back down. To get to the hose that was leaking, I removed an electric connector here, and the hose goes down under all the big hoses here. One of the big hoses has kind of a metal part on it that had been rubbing on this hose. We connected it with a leftover hose, kind of to help pull the other hose, the new hose, back in place. Turned out it was held in place with a clamp underneath that needed to be removed. With that removed, we started trying to feed it. It turned out to be quite hard because it kind of goes into the frame, so we decided to remove the batteries for better access. With the electrical cables disconnected, you can remove the thing holding them in place. Just lifting them out, and that tray they sit on can be removed also. With that removed, we could also undo some electrical wiring to help get a little better access. Some pry bars to help loosen things up, and eventually things started moving. We realized it might be hard to get both the connectors through, so we decided to just use a plug with a hole and a steel wire connected to it to pull it through, and then start feeding the new hose back in place. Once we got it out, I had to get that pull wire all the way through, so a piece of string was connected to the first extra hose we had used, and with the string pulled through in the correct place, we could feed that pull wire through. And once the pull wire was through, here you can see the protection I added to the hose. I ran out of power in the camera. It's a little hard to see, but down there is actually dual layers of that plastic protection and a little bit of tape on it to make sure it stayed in place as we pulled it through. Then it was just a matter of tightening up the connections, reinstalling all the clamps and fittings. And not forget about that electric connector I had removed in the beginning. And then it was just getting that battery tray bolted back in place, lifting back the batteries and hooking everything up. I hoped it would have been faster and would have been possible to kind of pull it all the way through without removing all this, but that would have been really a struggle, so this was probably the proper way to do it. I think the batteries will be removed more times in this machine to get better access when working down in the tub, as I have nicknamed this area.